Welcome to the Uncomplicated Perimenopause Podcast. I'm Kate Grosvenor, your friendly perimenopause expert and life coach.
And I'm Gabriella, Kate's daughter, representing all the women who are nowhere near perimenopause but want to understand it better.
Whether you're just starting your perimenopause journey, deep into it, or you're a loved one trying to support someone who is, we've got you covered.
We'll be answering all of your burning questions, exploring the ups and downs, and sharing expert advice and personal insights.
So grab a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's dive into the wonderful, sometimes wild, world of perimenopause together.
And remember, no matter where you are on your journey, you are not alone.
Welcome to the Uncomplicated Perimenopause. Hello, my darlings, and welcome to episode 9, season 2 of the Uncomplicated Perimenopause Podcast. My name is Kate Grosvenor. I'm a perimenopause expert and life coach.
And I'm Gabriella Grosvenor, Kate's daughter, here to learn with you all.
Is your app finished uploading?
Yeah, that's how I opened it.
Okay, cool. I love it. We were just discussing that when it says, "Oh, look, what congratulations!" or "Lovely, you've got a new app update," as if that's like, "Yay, great news!"
Yeah, I'm busy. I don't have time for this.
I hate it as well when they give you an update and it completely changes everything, and you're like, "What was wrong with the old one?"
Instagram, what's happened there?
Rude. You know why it was?
Awful.
It's because they were hoping Instagram was like that jealous younger sister or that jealous older sister that was, no offense because you are the oldest, but was hoping secretly that TikTok flopped and actually did ban all Americans and they would sneak in there.
But they're also removing highlights on Instagram. Do
Why?
you know how much I've built up my highlights and how aesthetic they are? I don't know. I don't know when, I don't know why or how.
They might change their mind though. Now TikTok's not
Best
going
do.
because it's one of the only advantages they've got over TikTok. To be fair, anyway.
Yeah.
So.
It's such a vibe.
But I'm at that age now, and I'm sure many of our listeners can understand this. So I used to, hand on my heart, take the piss out of old people that said, "Oh, can they just leave things the way that they are?" Back in the day, you know, like when supermarkets change the layout, and old people go, "I just can't find anything." I'm thinking, "Oh God, it's not bloody hard. Just read where the things are." You know, ask somebody like, "Duh." And I'm at that age now where I'm like, would they just keep things where they were? Marks and Spencer's food hall. I'm like, why do they keep moving things around? I can't find anything. It's taking me twice as long. And I'm at that age now where I'm
you start to notice like the patterns that like,
I know.
I hate kids just screaming, running around now. I'm like, ugh.
I can't bear it.
No.
I can't bear it. And other people's children that are just rude, and you just think, could you not just teach them some discipline, please? I'm at that point there where I'm like...
And you're at the point where you started talking about how we're going to discipline our kids.
Well, right, bone to pick. This is a true story. If you discipline or lack thereof your children anything like the male cats in this house...
They're perfect.
They're not perfect.
We have 7 cats, but 2 in particular have just owned my heart. And... they do no wrong. They actually do no wrong.
Is that true?
Absolutely. They do no wrong. And
so Lupin doesn't open doors and lets himself into people's...
He's a genius.
Okay, but they're not supposed to let themselves into people's bedrooms though, are they, Gabby?
He's well behaved in bedrooms. What's the problem?
But he's not supposed to be in there, is he?
It's fine. He's well behaved.
Yeah, but do I want him on my bed though?
What's wrong with it?
But do I want him on my bed? I close the door for a reason. But the thing is, he opens the door and then the other cats go in with him.
It's called a genius.
It's called not really supposed to be in there.
It's called my parents prayed that I'm only a girl mom.
Oh, dear Lord. Yes, so we digress.
We'll keep you updated on season 7 of the podcast. We'll see what kind of mum I am.
Oh, are you calling it season 7?
Oh, yeah.
You heard it first.
Yeah.
I'm not mentioning any names, but okay.
4 more seasons. Yeah. I got this. And I'll be pregnant.
How many times are we doing it a year? 2. How many seasons do we do a year? It's not 4 years. 4 seasons. 5 seasons.
So, actually, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, forget
Careful
that.
what you wish for.
I have another,
few seasons.
6 years.
Yeah,
7 years ahead of me.
Yeah, please. Yeah, right. Moving on quickly before anybody gets the wrong idea. What is the question for today?
So it's from Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
And she's from Manchester.
Good, because we thought we might have annoyed everyone from Manchester last time. Hi, Rachel.
We love it. So Rachel says,
"Yeah,
I've always managed to keep my weight steady."
Oh gosh, right, here we go. We haven't had a weight one yet, have we?
I was quite pleased with this one.
Okay.
I've always managed to keep my weight steady, but since entering perimenopause, it feels like everything I eat just sticks, especially in my middle area.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm eating the same and exercising regularly, and yet nothing seems to work anymore. It's so frustrating as it's starting to affect how I feel about myself.
Oh, bless you.
Is this a normal part of perimenopause?
Yes, it is.
And if so, how can I manage my weight without feeling like I have to deprive myself or work twice as hard just to stay the same?
Good question. And also not an easy question to answer because it's not about calories in, calories out anymore at all, actually. So first of all, Rachel, thank you so much for this question. It's a really, really common frustration that I hear from so many women. Actually, I'm surprised we hadn't had this question before, to be fair. It's very, very common frustration for women going through perimenopause. So first of all,
never been a weight one.
As I always say, you're absolutely not alone going through this, and I completely understand how disheartening it feels, how frustrating it feels. So let's break this down. Why does it happen during perimenopause? What's really going on with your body? And most importantly, what can you do to manage it and in a way that feels sustainable, but also really, really feels good? Because I'm not a big believer in the traditional diet type of culture. So let me explain what's happening with hormones first, because we are going back to our good old friend
progesterone.
Close. Estrogen to start with. You had a 50-50 chance of nailing it, but estrogen is more of the problem in this one. So during perimenopause, estrogen levels start to fluctuate.
Really?
I may have mentioned this. I may have on one or two episodes. I may have just kind of like hinted at it. But anyway. Every single episode that's ever been. But estrogen level...
Get the message, guys.
Yes, just like get with the program. So estrogen levels fluctuate and then they eventually decline. And your ovaries reduce the production of this very key hormone, okay? But estrogen isn't just involved in your reproductive system. It's also... It's also involved in fat distribution as well. So before perimenopause, estrogen encourages fat to be stored in areas like the hips and thighs. But as the levels drop, your body shifts to where it stores fat. Okay, so it does change the dynamics of where you store fat. Okay, so what many women don't realize is the fat tissue, particularly around your middle, can actually produce estrogen as well. So as your ovaries produce less, your body may begin to store more fat around this area to compensate. So it's a secondary source of estrogen. So before perimenopause, your estrogen is produced from your ovaries. And as you go through perimenopause, your body is just trying to give you that extra chance, that one last boost, just in case you wanted another baby. So it's trying to maintain some level of estrogen to give you that one bit more estrogen production. And so it produces estrogen from the fat cells around your middle. Unfortunately, this isn't ideal for your health, but it's your body's way of adapting to the hormonal changes. So it's trying really hard to give you that little bit more fertility, that little bit more estrogen. So it's actually not trying to work against you. We all get really annoyed, like, oh God, my body's just like giving me this muffin top, and it's just like really annoying. And I
become a Tory suddenly.
Things like that. But it just really, like, we get really upset about it and really annoyed about it. But it's actually your body's trying to be kind and trying to give you that last chance.
Very kind, so kind.
But it's trying to be kind. At the same time, your metabolism naturally slows down with age. That's an age thing.
When does it start to slow down, actually?
Well, it's difficult to say. Your muscle mass declines.
Okay.
So as your muscle mass declines, your metabolism naturally declines because muscle burns more fuel than fat does.
Okay. Yeah.
So the less muscly you are, the less your body's going to burn. That's number one. And you tend to be less active as well. Plus your metabolism slows down. So less muscle means your body obviously burns fewer calories at rest. And so when your body burns less calories at rest, you're more likely, it's easier for you to gain weight. That's basically the equation. Even if you're eating the same amount of calories as before. That's why I'm saying it is no longer calories in, calories out.
Yeah.
Just isn't.
Okay.
So you can't just eat this, you can't just put everything into MyFitnessPal and expect it to be able to tell you how many calories to eat anymore, because we lose muscle mass. Women at our age lose muscle mass.
What's your opinion on these like Weight Watchers and these kind of ways to lose weight? Okay,
that is a podcast or 20.
Oh, right. Someone ask, please.
In a brief nutshell, I struggle very much with the shame culture around these, where you all get weighed in a group and it depends how well they're run, I'm going to say. Because I went to One Slimming World once where she was promoting Diet Coke.
Okay.
And telling us we should drink Diet Coke because it's 0 calories and you can drink as much as you want because it's, I don't know if it was 0 sins or something. A Diet Coke is one of the worst things you could possibly drink. I'm not going to get into a massive lecture on the fact that your body thinks it's going to receive sugar and then it doesn't receive sugar, and then it's like a chemical shitstorm in your body, and the detriment it has to all kinds of different systems in your body, because that's a medical podcast almost. But it's really, really, really unhealthy for you. And they were actively promoting it. And then the other half of the day was all about kind of reading out who'd lost what amount of weight and who had gained weight and who was struggling and who wasn't. And these women were being kind of like actively shamed. Right. And
we don't do that.
We don't shame people about their weight. And so it was like, oh, what happened to you? You didn't lose any weight this week, but you're doing ever so well last week, weren't you? What happened? And then they were being asked to discuss what they'd done. And I just was like, I actually left.
That's so negative.
Yeah, I left. I couldn't deal with it. Incredibly negative environment for me. And I never quite understood the system of why some foods were considered to be negative foods and some things were considered to be positive foods. Now, the reality is that fats are healthy. And there's a lot of healthy fats, and I didn't understand why some foods were considered to be negatives even though they were healthy, and some foods just because they had more fats in them, therefore they had more calories in them. So it's not that simple a system. And I'm not knocking the whole system of it. That's what I'm saying. It depends how it's led, the systems, because accountability is great and not feeling like you're on your own is great. But as I said, I think the way that they're held varies massively. So the community I love if it's done well. But yeah, it's a huge topic for me because I hate the shame of, because obviously I was very obese back in the day. I was very overweight and I had a massive sugar addiction, and so for me shame around food is actually quite a big deal. So shame around food is a big deal for me, and it's not a topic I take very lightly.
Which is exactly why it's a good thing that Rachel asked us.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so there's also cortisol's impact on belly fat as well.
That was a lot. Sorry, you said that really quick.
Cortisol's impact. So cortisol is your stress hormone. Okay, and stress during perimenopause massively impacts cortisol levels. Cortisol encourages fat storage around the middle. Okay, there's no two ways about it. Your progesterone goes down, which makes you feel more stressed because your progesterone goes down. Progesterone is your more relaxed hormone. It makes you feel more chilled. It helps, it's soporific. It helps you to sleep better. Helps you to feel more relaxed. That goes down and you feel more stressed. You feel more ragged. You feel more, uptight. And when cortisol goes down, when progesterone goes down, you feel more stressed, and cortisol always gives you that, we call it the cortisol belly. You get that ring around your tummy, which makes sense from an evolutionary point of view. The reason that cortisol makes you gain weight around your tummy is it's trying to store energy in case you are going to be trapped in a cave, in case of famine, because true story, in case you're going to be you're being chased by monsters, beasties,
and the fat will help you,
and that's your food storage. So if you were being chased, stress, modern day stress is the equivalent of being chased by wildebeest or boogie monsters back in the day, right?
Okay.
So back in the day, if you were going to be chased by big beasts, you might run into a cave to escape them, at which point you might go into a state of famine because you were waiting it out.
Okay.
And your food storage would be your fat around your middle, so you wouldn't starve.
Amazing.
However, in modern times, it's just stubborn belly fat, unfortunately,
Yeah.
which adds to the frustration that many women feel,
Yeah.
because it's another thing adding to the weight around the tummy. What is really, really important to understand is this is not you failing. It's not you doing something wrong. It's a natural biological response to the changes that are happening in your body during perimenopause. But there's good news. But there are ways to work with your body rather than against your body, which is why there's certain things that you can do that will help you.
Yeah.
Number one is protein. If you focus on protein, and this is where people always, I've seen TikToks of women going, yeah, just eat protein, just eat more protein. And I know it's a ball ache, quite frankly, but focusing on protein does help you, because protein supports your muscle mass and it helps you to feel fuller for longer. It also helps to stabilize your blood sugar, which is also helps you to balance your hormones, which also helps you to balance your mood swings, which also helps you to balance. Protein is your best friend because it helps.
Best anyways.
No, don't talk daft. Carbs and fats are the best because we all want to eat donuts. Don't lie.
Meat.
Oh, donuts. But
okay, you got me there.
Pinocchio. Protein is the one that will help us the most in perimenopause. Protein and fiber really are best friends because they'll stabilize our blood sugar, help us with our hormones, help us build lean muscle mass, which is what we really, really need. Balancing your plate as well. It should be filled with non-starchy veg, protein, healthy fats. I mean, think avocado here, olive oils, olives, all these kind of like really, really healthy fats. Don't forget your knees, your brain. I'm always talking about omega-3s. Yeah. Omega-3s are really, really important. But other fats as well, like avocado. I mean, I know you're not a massive fan of avocado. Avocado.
A bit of a face when you said that. I was like,
oh no, I don't like that. oh no, don't like that. But avocados are really, really good for you. And just, these kind of oils in general, but complex carbs, quinoa, sweet potato. Oh God, the Moroccan one just disappeared off my head. The Moroccan
chickpea?
Couscous.
Yeah.
All these are really good. The balance is the thing that will help your body burn fat efficiently. So if your plate's balanced, your body will make good use of everything. And don't deprive yourself of anything. Don't go on these really, really strict diets. Your body will hate you.
She did ask, how do I feel like I'm not going to deprive myself?
It's not about deprivation. It's about moderation. Portion sizes rather than depriving yourself. So some women find that, maybe reduce on the snacking rather than reducing things that you can't eat.
So have more meals.
Have more meals and substantial meals that keep you full rather than grazing throughout the day, I think will help you keep an eye on the amount that you're eating.
They say like breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but if you actually have a really good breakfast, it does keep you full for a while.
The thing is, if you have a really, really good breakfast, you set your intentions for the day, you don't have that sugar low, and then you don't make silly decisions later on. If I don't eat breakfast, by 11 o'clock, I'm an idiot. My willpower and I just become an idiot in the kitchen. I'll go in there and I'll just think, I'm really hungry. Yeah. And by that time, I'm already immersed in work. And I just lose all track of kind of common sense and just willpower. And I will just eat toast with whatever's next to the toaster. So whoever went in there before me, I'm following their pattern.
Usually butter. It's
either butter or Nutella or jam or peanut butter or whoever was there before me. I'm repeating their pattern. Let's just hope it wasn't Rowan.
It's always Nutella then.
Then it's always Nutella. You see, if it was Jenna, it's peanut butter, and I'm pretty much okay. If it was you, it would be butter. Yeah. Also, not too bad. If it was Rowan, I'm screwed. Let's face it. But
I'm going to send her this episode.
But for me, I mean, my favourite breakfast is always going to be Greek yogurt, blueberries, and granola or muesli or
every day.
Put it porridge every morning. But there's some days where you just go,
That white bread.
Just a bit of dripping
Taste the gluten.
crumpets. Yeah. Moving with intention as well, super duper important. Strength training is one of the most effective ways to counteract the muscle loss and to counteract the metabolism slowdown. We need to still be building that muscle mass. We still need to feel strong. We still need to feel like we've got, even for our posture, we need to still feel like we're upright women. We don't want shrinkage. Shrinkage is very, you see those little old ladies that are hunched over. We don't want to be like that. And we don't have to be like that. Yeah. You know, we really don't have to get shorter. Even 2 30-minute sessions a week can work wonders for your body composition. And it can be your own body weight resistance. I mean, I love a good yoga session, but even just work out with resistant bands, whatever, and mix it up. You know, I love walking. You love walking. You love a good walk. And for me, horse riding, but obviously not recently with my neuralgia, but horse riding, I'd rather do that as cardio. Swimming, yeah, it's really, really good for you. I'm not a fan of swimming in England because I spent so many years swimming, obviously in the Middle East.
I've been to one indoor swimming pool in England in 12 years.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Nope. No, I'm really sorry.
And that's the thing. Once you've spent a decade or so swimming outdoors, swimming indoors just
it's a bit.
It's just not the same, is it?
No.
But let's not bore everyone with that one. But anything like just brisk walking, you know, swimming is great, tennis is anything that you can do that just, you know, is going to mix it up a bit. And your
shoulder went up when you said that. Mix it up a bit.
Just the thought of just playing tennis again in the sun. Oh, those were the days, my friend. And for me, you know, yoga it's nothing. It's nothing quite like a bit of yoga.
Yoga.
Managing stress. You know, I'm in the middle of a course right now. I'm writing a program right now all about managing stress.
Yeah.
If you do not manage your stress,
I've learned a lot already from writing about it.
I know, and the reason that I'm writing this program right now is statistically 7 out of 10 of us live in chronic stress.
Yeah,
live
not
there.
Surprised. Yeah,
live in chronic stress.
That sounds right.
65 to 80% of women go to the doctor, and a part of what they're going to the doctor about contains stress.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're talking about anxiety, which has a component of stress. They're talking about perimenopause symptoms. There's a component of stress. IBS, component of stress. Endometriosis, component of stress. Fibromyalgia. 65 to 80% of women, when they go to the doctor, what they're talking about has a component of stress. Only 3% of doctors will talk to their patients about how to manage stress.
In this country, or
this is
period?
Just, I mean, this is the statistics. Actually, to be honest, the statistics I'm looking at, these have come out of the US,
right?
But it's similar to the UK. Crazy. So, 65 to 80% go to the doctors, and what they're talking about has a stress component. Only 3% of doctors are talking to the patients about managing stress. 70% of us, 7 out of 10, so 70% of us live in chronic stress, and we know that stress exacerbates anything that's inflammatory, exacerbates all of perimenopause symptoms. And when you're dealing with stress or using part of your brain that isn't the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is the front part of your brain. This is the part, you know, when we talk about this isn't fully developed until
you're 25.
Until you're 25. So it's your thinking center, it's your higher order center, it's your emotional regulation center. It's not fully developed in humans until you're 25. And it's the part of your brain where you regulate yourself, you check in with yourself. It's the best part of you lives in here. Now, when you're really, really stressed, you make decisions from the amygdala, which is deep in kind of in between your ears type of middle of your brain. And that's your fight or flight, okay? And you don't make good decisions from there. And you're not the best version of yourself. So if you're making decisions from there, I'm going off on track right now, but you're not the best version of yourself, and you're not making wise choices for you. So that's one thing. So you're not really managing yourself properly and not looking after yourself properly. And then also it's managing stress in perimenopause. When women say to me, what are the 2 things I should do in perimenopause? I always say, look after your gut, manage your stress.
Yeah.
Those 2 things, always. If you can do those 2 things, you will have a much better journey. 100%. And managing stress is just as important as exercise when it comes to losing weight. It's one of those things where if you don't keep control on your stress, you will not lose weight in perimenopause. You will not. You will not maintain your weight in perimenopause. Your weight will go up because cortisol will run away with you. There's no other way I can say it. So meditation, yoga, deep breathing, carving out time for yourself, what I call feeding your fairy, not a euphemism. All these things can reduce cortisol levels and make it easier for your body to just let go of that stubborn fat. If you are stressed and you're living in chronic stress, and when you're living in chronic stress, if you lie down at night and your heartbeat just starts off, that's a real sign of chronic stress in perimenopause. You cannot lose weight, I'm afraid, Rachel. I hope that doesn't apply to you. If it does, let me know, because the course is going to be out. Yeah. Feb, I think.
Yeah. Stay tuned
for that one. But yeah, managing your stress, massively important. Prioritizing sleep. Poor sleep, again, can wreak havoc on your hormones, including those that regulate hunger.
What does that mean?
So we have a hormone that regulates our hunger. And if you don't get enough sleep, those hormones aren't regulated, and they also help with fat storage. So if you don't get an average 7-8 hours of sleep a night, have a lovely calming bedtime routine, what I call sleep hygiene. Yeah. Your body can't do that, and you can't shift weight.
I wake up in the middle of the night hungry every night. Does that have something to do with it?
It might do as well. Yeah.
Because I crave just anything.
Yeah, but that might be. Yeah, we'll talk about that off camera. That's another story. That's not perimenopause, baby. A mindset shift as well, Rachel. I just want to touch on something you said about how this is affecting how you feel about yourself. It's so easy to tie our self-worth to the way our bodies look, but your value is really genuinely not determined by the number on a scale or how your clothes fit. You're navigating a change in yourself and a challenging phase of life, and your body is doing the best it can to adjust to those changes. I would say to all the women out there and going through perimenopause, just give yourself some grace and focus on what makes you feel good, whether that's moving your body, nourishing it with wholesome food, or simply taking time to appreciate everything it does for you. It's not about perfection at this moment in time. It's about finding a balance that supports your health, your happiness, your just kindness to yourself. And it really isn't I'm not going to sit here and say let yourself go. What I'm saying is let it go. That the quest for perfection, just let it go. It's about finding a balance that makes you feel whole right now. So, quick recap. Few steps you can try. Increase your protein take, focus on strength training, experiment with meal timing, maybe eat a bit earlier, start breakfast a bit later, and then
you're not supposed to eat a big heavy meal after 5 p.m. apparently.
6 p.m. 7, just play with it, maybe eat a bit earlier in the day, maybe start breakfast a bit later, see if that helps you at all. Prioritize your stress management and sleep. Small consistent changes can really add up to big results. I don't know if you've ever read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, Rachel. That's a really, really good book to read about 1%. Okay. Rachel, I hope this helps you and you feel a bit more empowered and less frustrated. As always, you're not alone in this journey, my darling. And with some tweaks, you can absolutely manage your weight in a way that feels good and sustainable. If you try any of these tips, do let us know. And if anyone else is listening, has a question or experience to share, we'd love to hear from you, because at the end of the day, we're all in this together. Thank you, my darlings, for tuning in. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to WhatsApp us on the number below, or reach out to us in our perimenopause group on Facebook, which is Perimenopause with Kate Grosvenor. Have a beautiful week, my darlings. Take care, and we will speak to you soon. Bye. Thanks for joining us today on the Uncomplicated Perimenopause Podcast. We hope you found this episode helpful and inspiring.
Don't forget, if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, you can reach out through our perimenopause group or on WhatsApp.
For more information on my coaching, perimenopause supplements, books, or upcoming events, please visit www.kategrosvenor.com.
And if you've enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. It really helps us reach more listeners just like you.
Until next time, remember, perimenopause doesn't have to be complicated. We're here to help you every step of the way.
Stay uncomplicated.